I mean, the rest of the talent has got to try to focus on their match. The production crew's got to do their stuff. Tony Khan has got to manage that and also probably just, be there on headset at Gorilla, directing traffic. You got the announcers trying to just make the best of it. You probably got some talent back there legitimately pissed because this is kind of a slap in the face and a big insult to your company that's trying to celebrate their 3-year anniversary, and the wrong things are becoming the focal point of the show. Double or Nothing, we saw what happened with MJF and the drama and the distraction that caused. Then it All Out, CM Punk wins the title and then completely undoes everything with a media scrum rant that completely trips up and throws a big monkey wrench into the company, their future plans. They had to strip 4 champions, suspend guys. The face of their company may never come back. And then they try to recover from that. A couple of talent meetings. We hear that everything is fine. Morale is up. And then Andrade and Sammy start beefing on Twitter. And things come to a head. And they get in a physical altercation here at Dynamite prior to the show when Sammy is booked for the main event. And Andrade has got a career versus mask match on Friday. This is the 3-year celebration. 3-year anniversary celebration for this show, and it is all completely overshadowed now by this drama, this nonsense, this immaturity, this bullshit really on social media. And I think it's insulting to your peers, to the talent there that actually does want to make this company a success and is out there working hard and cares a lot and wants to have, a good, strong, cohesive locker room. And they want the company to excel. And shit like this is going to slow it down regardless of whose fault it is. So it's easy to point the finger at Sammy, I think, because he was just involved in one of these things with Eddie Kingston. But he also doesn't seem like a guy that should really be picking certain fights. You know what I mean? Like, I can totally see him being a prick or a douche to somebody who's bigger and stronger than him, because Shawn Michaels used to do that shit all the time. So I can totally understand a young kid, granted Sammy is 29, but somebody who's young, good-looking, talented, got a hot wife. Of course, that type of cockiness, that type of arrogance is something that we see time and time again in pro wrestling. Randy Orton, The Miz, countless others who start their careers as assholes but retire as well-respected veterans. And I think Sammy will get there. Sammy will get over maybe some of these, personality issues he may have that rubs people the wrong way. But in terms of him going out there and searching out fist fights, you think Andrade is a guy that Sammy Guevara wants to be messing with? You think Eddie Kingston is a guy he really wants to be fucking with? I mean, I just don't see Sammy being an aggressor in that way. But I can see Sammy pissing somebody off to the point where they just want to straight slap the shit out of him in the locker room. So regardless of whose fault it is, no talent should put this type of pressure on the company they work for their coworkers and their comrades in the locker room, and just for the wrestling fans at home when you're compromising what should be a very important show. And AEW is trying to recover from all the negative nonsense publicity and everything going on after All Out and Brawl Out and Scrumgate and all that stuff. They're trying to recover from that. They're going to go with Moxley now, and they're just trying to pull everything back together, get the talent back on the same page, and then as soon as they feel like they're making some progress there, something really stupid like this happens, and it forces you to cancel a big advertised match for a big show on Friday, and then even puts in jeopardy your main event for tonight. Up until 10 minutes ago, we thought Sammy Guevara had been sent home with Andrade and the main event wasn't going to happen. But we just saw Sammy Guevara backstage in the promo. He looks fine, doesn't have a black eye, doesn't look like he got the shit kicked out of him. So whatever kind of physical altercation happened between these two guys looks like they were separated out pretty quick. Because one thing I think we can all agree on is that Sammy Guevara did not beat the shit out of Andrade. So probably 1 or 2 punches were thrown, or they reached for each other and guys spread them apart. Because you had to have known this is happening. They basically said as much on social media. Andrade said, "I'll see you Wednesday." Did say he's not going to beat the shit out of him because he's a professional, but also said, "I will see you on Wednesday." So the people in the building there, Tony Khan should have put the word out to his security team and to the talent, make sure these two guys aren't alone together. And if they are coming together to have some words or whatever, just make sure people are there. And who knows, maybe Andrade confronted Sammy about what he said and Sammy just acted like Sammy. And maybe that was enough. Andrade wants out of his contract so bad. I think that's pretty clear. He wants to go back to WWE. His wife is there. Everything is waiting there for him. And he's a guy that gives zero fucks, will say what he feels. and will not mince words at all. And he's been posting very cryptic stuff lately to social media and to Twitter, really hinting and confirming even that he is unhappy with, and a little bit disappointed, I should say, with his run in AEW so far, and even compared it to some of the disappointment and deflation that he felt in WWE. Kind of gave him the same feeling creatively. So he's not somebody that's really holding back. He clearly wants out, and even though Tony Khan has handed down this edict that he's not going to be granting any releases, I think he should still judge each situation on a case-by-case basis. And you can make a big blanket statement saying, yeah, I'm not going to grant any releases, but if the right situation comes around, I think it's better for yourself and for your talent that you just cut your losses, even if, that involves a massive no-compete or something like that, just to get that out of your locker room and get a guy who really, really, truly doesn't want to be there off of your payroll. And I think that's how Tony Khan should handle it for the time being. There are certain situations where maybe it's best as if Andrade's heart is just not going to be in it and he doesn't care. I don't know what the point of even paying him is. Let him go back if that's where he wants to go, especially since he already has a spouse that's there, and it's probably just better overall. So we will see what happened, what the story says, and what we hear of from Fightful Select or Meltzer or whoever else has connections and eyeballs and ears backstage as to who was the aggressor, who started it, who threw the first punch. Obviously, it sounds like Andrade did, since he was the one sent home and who's had his match canceled on Friday. But what will that result in? Is that just Andrade going to get suspended and then he's going to come back? Or is this finally going to result in what Andrade wants, and that appears to be a release? We'll have to see what happens there. I just wanted to kind of interrupt our watch along as Darby and Jay Lethal are having a match here in the ring with my thoughts on that whole situation. It's crazy. It's all going down literally as we speak. And that's pretty nuts that on a night that should be AEW's 3-year anniversary, we are barely paying attention to the show. And all we're doing is trying to find out what the fuck happened between Andrade and Sammy Guevara. Crazy stuff. Oh, and Sammy's going to win. Here I'm thinking he's going to take the pin. He's going to win, isn't he? Yep. I'm almost happier with that. I cannot wait to see what social media is going to be saying about that finish. Sammy Guevara actually getting the pin and winning the match for his team after the altercation backstage with Andrade prior to the show that got Andrade sent home, and the way Twitter is going to define this because of how hated Sammy Guevara is. Twitter is going to automatically assume that what happened was that Sammy Guevara started everything. He's the cause of everything. And then Andrade showed up to the arena today, all nice and calm and polite and ready to sit down over a nice iced latte and hash out their differences. And when he attempted that, Sammy Guevara just got pissed, threw the coffee in his face, and threw a punch at him. And then security broke it up. And to rectify the situation, they sent Andrade home, and they canceled his match against Preston on Rampage, and they put over Sammy in the main event tonight of Dynamite. That's what Twitter is going to think happened. Unfortunately, that's not the truth. And I think we're going to learn about what happened between Andrade and Sammy Guevara, but based on what we saw tonight and how Tony Khan reacted after the CM Punk and Elite altercation, stripping everybody, including his world champion, if he was willing to do all of that, I think it's pretty safe to say he would have had no problem removing Sammy Guevara from tonight's main event as well. So the fact that we saw Guevara backstage in the promo, they advertised him all night, he was out here for the match, and he got the victory, makes me think that either it's them just creating more buzz with the buzz they already have and get people talking more, or, maybe this is a situation where Sammy wasn't in the wrong. I think he definitely acted immaturely. I think they both did. Neither guy has any business putting the company they work for through this bullshit after what it's been through. But I think maybe as the stories come out, like I said, I have no idea who's in the right or the wrong here, but based on the evidence we saw here, I said that it is not beyond reason in my mind that if you look at it from Andrade's perspective and some of the things he's been saying in interviews and on social media, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that he went to TV today with the intent on getting himself fired. And even yesterday, he quote tweeted Preston and said, I hope I can be there on Friday. I mean, their match is scheduled. And he even said yesterday, I hope I'm there, because he said as much in his tweets on social media that he was going to confront Sammy Guevara on Dynamite on Wednesday. So this was preventable. Why didn't AEW take precaution? Tony Khan is on Twitter all the time. He saw all this bullshit going on between them. Why didn't he inform security or put a word out on the locker room? Whatever you do, don't let these two be alone together without some supervision or without somebody there to moderate. He should have definitely told the legal department, informed security, and did whatever he could to make sure that nothing happened here due to the volatility of the social media posts. I believe two men should just be able to square up and hash out their issues without getting physical. But if you fear that that's possible because it's already happened to you at All Out, then maybe you should take some precautions to make sure this shit stops. It's totally fine to punish after the fact, but you still have to make sure it doesn't happen in the first place. So this is just another example, I think, of a lot of the mismanagement in AEW. They've been making strides. They have made some hires and put some people in positions of power in the company, but that really, needs to tighten up as best as it can. And I think this situation with behavior in the locker room needs to be addressed with a social media manager or an etiquette team or somebody like that who talks to the talent and say, hey, don't be idiots on social media. Think about what you say before you send it out, because what you say could affect you, could affect the company and the publicity. And with everything we've got going on right now, the last thing we need is you fuckers messing it up with your bullshit drama. I mean, this is a meeting that I feel like needs to happen, but we've already heard of several talent meetings happening in AEW since All Out, and nothing seems to be working. So, like I said earlier, I don't know who is at fault here. We'll probably learn more in the upcoming hours, and probably we'll learn a lot tomorrow, and who knows, we might even get an announcement regarding Andrade about a full-blown release.